television CK, YouTube, Musha, subscribe, yes, I had here. YouTube, Musha, cross rise, then you what you are logo. Uncle Machine again, Mofia, logo.
What's up guys, how are you doing? Thank you so much for clicking this video, and to all the newcomers to Television CK, I would like to say a very big welcome. If this is your first time on this channel, please be sure to join this family by hitting the subscribe and notifications button so you don't miss any new posts. So, a notorious armed robber who has been terrorizing the people living in Achimota and its surroundings have been shot dead. The suspected robber has been shot along the Achimota forest stretch after he succeeded in attacking and snatching 2 phones from 2 pedestrians and then running into the bush. So yesterday at about 9 p.m, the suspect, who is now deceased, armed with a knife, emerged from the Achimota Forest Reserve and snatched a passerby's phone and then ran back into the forest. After he stole the phone, he was chased by policemen at the Achimota CP roundabout, but he managed to escape into the forest. Now the police then came back and laid ambush around the forest to see if he would come back, to try and steal again. And lo and behold, after a while, he emerged again from another part of the forest or another side of the forest to continue his operations. But the police didn't approach him then. They continued monitoring him closely to see if he would try and, rob anybody or to see if they had the right guy. But minutes later, he snatched another phone at knife point from a lady while the police were watching him from afar. He snatched the phone from a lady who alighted from a passenger vehicle, or as we all call it, Sh0t, and then again started running back to the forest. But this time around, the policemen gave him a hot chase, and in an attempt to, demobilize him and cause his arrest or to arrest him, detain him, he was hit by one of the bullets and rushed to the police hospital for treatment, but he was pronounced dead on arrival, and the body has been deposited at the police morgue. As we all know, on that Achimota stretch now, armed robbery has been very rampant in that area. Fighting robbery on that stretch has been a headache for the district, the division, and the regional command. There are robbers who pretend to be prayer warriors, or coming to Achimota to come and pray. They hide in the forest and come out late in the evening or sometimes early in the morning during rush hours and attack their victims with offensive weapons. They snatch their bags, their phones, and valuables, and then they run back into the forest. So those of you who frequent Achimota a lot can attest to the fact that many of those people who come around acting like they are prayer warriors, not all of them are. They get the chance to enter that place under the guise of being prayer warriors and all that, and then once they are inside, they attack all kinds of people. A lot of people who have gone to Achimota forest to pray and stuff have complained of armed robbers terrorizing them and all that. Remember a few months ago, that I think November last year, a woman was stabbed in the shoulder at Achimota because her vehicle door glass was down, and they took her handbag and phone and some money away. So this prompted the police department at Achimota to mount a snap checkpoint and also post plainclothes police in the area in the evening, morning, and also during rush hours. Towards the end of last year, 5 people were arrested in that area for armed robbery, related to armed robbery. I think the last quarter of last year, 5 people were arrested and 2 of them have been jailed, but the problem still persists. And with the killing of this notorious robber who, according to police reports, have terrorized these people for several, for so long, this man has been on the police list or the police watch for a long time. So with the killing of this notorious robber, who according to duty men has operated in Achimota Forest Enclave for many years, the robbery activities on the road and the forest might subside. Okay, for our next story, Kenyasi Police Division in the Sh0t North District of the Ahafo region has cautioned Rickshaw, as we all call them, Pragya operators, to comply with COVID-19 safety protocols. Now, during an engagement with some 95 rickshaw operators at Kenyasi, the chief inspector said the operators are entitled to take just 2 passengers instead of 3. Just like during the lockdown and even after, taxi drivers were told to take a limited number of people. Now, Pragya drivers have also been told to pick a limited number of 2 people instead of the 3 people that they always pick. This direction, according to the chief inspector, will help observe social distancing, one of many COVID-19 safety protocols. Now, the chief inspector also said that due to difficulty in accessing news on COVID-19, the police found it urgent to have an interaction with the rickshaw operators. He said any operator caught flouting the safety protocols or measures will be dealt with according to the sanctions as prescribed by the law. According to him, any rickshaw operator they cite not wearing face masks will be arrested, and if they allow a passenger without a face mask to sit in their vehicle, they will also be arrested. That's the rickshaw operators, not the passengers. So the rickshaw operators should make sure that nobody who is not wearing a face mask, comes on board their vehicle. Meanwhile, some rickshaw operators who spoke, said they will comply with the directives given by the police, although it may not be in their favor. One of them said, should there be a case of a lockdown, they will not be able to operate. And then how would they be able to take care of their families? So they will have to, observe. They have no choice but to observe the safety protocols. According to them, they will serve as watchdogs and form a task force to report colleagues who flout the COVID-19 safety protocols. The Ghana Health Service in its report says Ghana has seen a surge in the number of COVID-19 cases recorded, and according to reports, all 16 regions in the country have recorded active COVID-19 cases. Some witches in Nigeria have been arrested and taken to court over the health of a 3-year-old. Yachia Befo be say a kind of saying almost the incantation a 3-year-old child be so ama I abakra yare kwano yarenti yodi omako court asemi ye din the same. Mami penny no woman or before penny no woman and yet to tuna no bisa and sem no say or chra. Nipa we cool we are sidi nipa wa. Now kolaya this child in question Omo the spell at since the child was born, she's 3 years old now. So for 3 whole years, the child just keeps falling sick and falling sick and falling sick. Her parents have tried everything and they can't, do anything about it. So one of the witches actually was caught and made a confession, say, we dinner. It even happened, say 5 children, 5 minors, that's below the age of 18, are part of this witches camp, and they were all arraigned in front of court. But one of them, they are currently saying is on the run. It's a police force, Mami Beifui, no more than about court. Abedi Assembly. Maybe say assembly, no, ye didn't say. I mean, this sounds funny, but on a more serious note, how do you put a witch before court? So someone said, you didn't know her name was saying. So, in fact, how is the case going to be? What is the judge going to do? Now, judge, you don't know who you because Okodi Assembly when the assembly year. Okodi Assembly when the now assembly didn't say this puts the judge in a really tight position, guys. So, what any judge now walk out on assembly who didn't say fine. You have a confession, you have a confessed witch who is saying that or the area to Akolawe. So, normally when you have a case in court and you get a confession and everything, you are good to go. You can put the person in jail or whatever. But this thing is not a physical crime. It's not like Wakoku Obi or Wakoyese. He didn't physically beat the child for the child to feel sick. So how do you, maneuver around this case? If you were in the judge's position, what are you going to do? And the courtroom hono any yama before penny yes in the jonta yama before penny ni begin house on kind of no monsemochra nipa we kuomu we ase de nipa ketwa na ne person your friend said dudu o said ne partner na ono no sisi we dwan aye ni bebi o won the rich at large ono na bibi a hye ne nsa ono na ade na omde to akra de so no betimi eye frame enti ewie na ye friend kola na omaka de so mo bra na ombe yi omo no munsem. There were 5 minors in total involved in this witch case. And I watch am say before penny no aka kire mo so mo so akra no mo hira akra no to form enti mo hira akra no to form no mo de abobo bi share ne yam enti abobo no mo de share ne yam no mo de share mu wie no mo koyi dead person spirit no mo de be share mu. So the child has a dead person spirit in her. But after the which before penny confess na omo call police station actually assembly ko we court no, they were ordered to remove the stone from the child's stomach and they did. But evil spirit dead person spirit na e wo akora no mo ntimi yi eno de maame na wadwane just before na wadwane no ono pe e no betimi aye. Now when omo ka assembly we and the judge ni buafua mo hu de onye ne ho mpo o say innocent children are being brought, and this is the truth, innocent children are being brought into witchcraft from childhood when they don't know, and when they grow up it affects them throughout their life. They are witches, some know, some don't know, and these spirits affect them throughout their life. Into when the judge and says and he ordered you know, the witches in court to do whatever they can to make sure that they find that other woman where Johnny says, see, and no be sad in so before a sentence is, you know, passed.